I can do that now because I'm in my 50s. I've been to the circus. But when you in your 20s and 30s, you ain't thinking like that. You're like, oh no.
Why do you say you wish you would have had kids earlier?
I would have been younger. I wouldn't have been so tired from following them around and running around and stuff like that. Do you know that this is about 3-4 years ago? Do you know what my daughters did to me? We want to go to Disney World for 3 days in 100-degree weather. And for 7 hours each day, they had me in there. I am a black man. You might have thought I was purple after they got, I was roasting out there in 100-degree weather. They made me get on every ride. And they milked those 21 hours with me outside to the second. Not minute, not hour, the second. We were out there for the full 21 hours. They gave me no breaks. And that's just the way it was. So they pull rank now, and they do that all the time.
Would you ever have more kids?
No, never. It's over.
I watched that interview you did with ABC recently.
Yeah.
And you said your biggest regret is having not gotten married.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I had children out of wedlock, and it was the only thing that my mother was ever ashamed of me about. She was very, very ashamed of me. Because my mother was a religious woman. She loved the Lord, and she didn't play that. And she knew it was going to be a tremendous load on my shoulders, a tremendous responsibility. And she was like, you've made smart decisions all your life. How could you slip up and do this? And Mom, I just did. There's no way around it. And, when you are a dad, but you're not married, and you're not with the mom, it's challenging because you're not the priority that you want to be when it comes to influencing your children's lives. You have to work overtime to do that. Because even though I've been blessed and very, very fortunate to have 2 women that are wonderful mothers to my daughters, the fact remains that by not being with them, it put me and my children in a very, very difficult position because you're not there constantly having the impact that you want to have. And so my mother knew that would be the case. And she didn't raise us that way. She's like, what the hell? And she was furious with me. And she said, well, you're going to make up for it. First of all, you are not going to be your dad. And what you're going to do is you're going to be the best dad that you can possibly be. And she said, this is not a request. And when she said that, I made a promise to her that that's exactly what I would be. And that's been my number one responsibility ever since.
You said you were engaged once, but you screwed it up or
Yes.
something. What went wrong?
I wasn't happy. It wasn't cheating or anything like that. I was not happy. And because I wasn't happy, I ended it. I recognized it was my fault because a lot of it had to do with my work, my schedule, my mindset. I wasn't the kind of guy that just want to sit at home and come home and, be with a wife and kids and lay down and relax. I wasn't that guy. I want to be out there. I want to be working. I want to be on the grind. I want to be successful. I want to be succeeding, taking on new challenges and pushing myself to the limit and finding out what I was made of.
But there was a period of time where monogamy just was not for you.
Well, that was because I was on the road.
Yeah.
That was all. I'm not one that has to have multiple women in my life and all of that other stuff. But I am somebody that need to be around you. Like if I'm not around you, I'm not the kind of person that you need to leave alone and think that, oh yeah, I'm in a relationship, so I'm gonna be monogamous. Not then. I can do that now because I'm in my 50s. I've been to the circus. But when you in your 20s and 30s, you ain't thinking like that. You're like, oh no, I'm on the road 200 days out of the year. I'm not trying to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm meeting women wherever I go. But you get to a point in life, you grow up and that stuff is old news. But I had to go through that to get to that point. If I didn't go through that, then I'd still be feeling like I missed out.
You think you eventually get married?
Yeah, I will. I think so.
Why?
Because I don't like being alone. I like having people in my space. I love family. You know, it's not about, everything ain't about sex. Sex is important, don't get me wrong, in any fruitful relationship, to be quite honest with you. But you know what? So is family. So are the Sunday barbecues. So are the cookouts. So are the walks in the park, on the beach. There's a lot of things that are intimate that is important to have in your life. And the older you get, the more you appreciate that, because the stuff that you used to want to do no longer suffices.
And I know you've had a special somebody in your life for a number of years now, but it's funny, I was talking to Cardell, and he goes, there's just a level of fear connected to the idea of marriage.
Fear, well, we all grew up around divorcees. We've seen relationships crumble before our very eyes. We've seen people that were married in name only. We've seen it all.
Yeah.
And you do fear that level of stress will enter your life, and you're like, I've seen people lose it because they felt trapped. It wasn't because they were quote unquote married and that was it. It was because there was no way out without paying a huge price. And you do find yourself saying, why pay that price? You see the divorce rate, you see the friction, you see people getting sued, you see people smiling and committing their lives to one another forever and ever, you know, till death do us part, and 2 years later they're giving each other the finger and saying, I hate you. You know, you've seen all of these things. People like me, we don't know how to relinquish that level of control. We don't know how to concede, you're the one, you have my life is over as I knew it. Here it is, let's move forward together. We don't know how to just do that. We know how to love, we know how to care, we know how to be the best people that we can possibly be, we know how to honor commitments and stuff like that, but in the same breath, just relinquishing ourselves to somebody else to that degree is a bit trickier, and the more folks push, the more we repel.